What's up, everybody? Zero back again, bringing some gameplay on Nuketown. This is a game directly after the last one that I posted on Silo. When I saw Nuketown come up, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pull out the spaz again and just go to town on these guys. And didn't end up quite working out like I wanted it to. I ended up dying a whole lot in this game, but I decided the strategy I wanted to take, and it was just be up in their face, rushing into their spawn, just being a complete dick the whole game, and I think I pretty much accomplished that. I had a whole lot of fun doing it, so I just knew I had to post this game. Even though, like I said, I do end up dying a whole lot in it, I still end up... I think this is actually my highest kill number game that I have on Xbox, and I did it without really any lethal kill streaks. I did run some napalm, but I don't think I got very many kills with it at all. So mainly it was all gun. But anyway, it looks like we survived the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, even with the specific confirmed, but still the uncertain threats they were talking about. I kind of figured they were just blowing that all out of proportion. Probably just doing it for news ratings. News stations are kind of like that. They like exploiting public fear. But I don't know. I just kind of was thinking the whole day yesterday just about how much the country's changed since then, and how much it's led to, and kind of how much I've changed since then as well. I remember when it first happened, I was sitting at work. The day was just about over. We were kind of wrapping things up, and a few people were reading the news, and somebody, oh shit, a plane just crashed into the World Trade Center. And you know, they didn't say it was like a jumbo jet or anything. It was just, you know, breaking news, a plane's crashed. So I figured it was just some bad pilot or some drunk pilot in a little Cessna or something. So I had laughed. I was like, what a dumbass. And then a little bit later, went home, something happened, and they announced that a second jet had crashed. And I was like, oh, this sounds a little more serious. This must be terrorists or something. But still didn't say anything about it being like jumbo jets. I didn't really think all that much of it, and I went home, went to bed, ended up waking up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast, which basically everything had happened by the time I woke up. And I turned on the TV just for something to do, and looked like the world was just falling apart at that point in time. Everyone was just freaking out, and they just kept showing footage over and over again. I was pretty stunned, and right away I was just like, man, there's going to be at least a few bombs dropped over this, if not a full-out war. And I guess I was right. Ended up in 2 wars, really. And I know something had to be done, but I don't know if going to war over it was justified, especially since I don't even know. They've really never even confirmed the suspicions of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and other things like that, so it's kind of hard to be supportive when it's like, well, are we even fighting the right people? The way it all kind of unfolded, it's kind of like the government wanted to go to war in these 2 countries anyway, and this was just kind of their excuse to go do it. And I don't even know. It's just craziness. In my opinion, I think the terrorists completely accomplished what they set out to do. They got Americans everywhere living in fear, thinking, oh no, there could be another terrorist attack. They got Americans voting for these politicians now that are actively screwing them over, destroying our own economy. And it's just kind of crazy. It's crazy how the country has changed since then. That used to be all about personal freedom and freedom of speech and everything else. And all that's slowly being eroded away. They just keep passing more and more laws like the Patriot Act and things like that, taking away personal freedom, taking away the right to not be detained without a trial. And Ohio the other day just passed something saying that if the cops knock on your door for any reason and they hear movement inside that could be construed as you destroying evidence, then they can bust down your door and arrest you for anything they can find, whether or not they have a warrant. And that is completely 100% against the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment. And it's just destroying our individual freedoms in this country. And if you look at it that way, then the terrorists already kind of have won. But I don't even know what to think. And after I got to thinking about how the country has changed ever since then, I kind of got to thinking about how I've changed since then. And I remember back when it first happened, I was all for going to war. I mean, back in those days, I was still extremely conservative, right-wing, just basically like I'd grown up, basically like everyone I'd grown up around. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Bible Belt, Missouri, with everyone's just very deeply conservative, racist. I wasn't racist, but most people are. Even if they don't admit that they're racist, they're definitely more than subtly racist, and just fearful of anyone of a different religion, hating gay people, just afraid of anything they don't understand. And ever since I've got out of that environment and spent more time in a bigger city with a more diverse culture, and just learned more about other people and how other cultures do things, and just their points of view from other sides of the story, it's just really changed my outlook on things. Now I'm probably one of the most probably liberal people that I know. And it's kind of funny, because one of the first things I heard when I woke up that day was, I think it was Dan Rather that was on the news, and one of the things he said was, America will never be the same after today. And it's kind of true. I can see that whole day as a turning point, not just for America, but as for a whole lot of other events in my life. Even though I wasn't directly affected in any way by terrorist attacks, I can still see how the changes in government policies and the changes in just the general public opinion and everything has gone on to affect my life, everyone around me, and basically the entire world. And it's kind of strange to think about things that way. And when you really get into it, you can kind of realize that even the smallest actions of one person can really just echo across the entire world and make a huge difference. I'm not saying, you can change the world single-handedly, but there's definitely effect with even the smallest events that go on and ripple throughout time and history. And it's kind of a strange realization. But one thing I do know for sure, there's never going to be a solution for humans fighting. A lot of people like to think, oh, if we just outlawed religion, then there wouldn't be any fighting over that. But people still fight over other things. And a lot of people say if we were all the same religion, then we wouldn't be fighting. But people within the same religion kill each other all the time. People think if we took away the guns, then there'd be a lot less violent crime. But if you look at the country of Europe that have taken away guns, then people are just out there committing crimes with knives and machetes and things like that. So, that's not really the solution. People just don't seem to realize that we're really no better than any other animals in the animal kingdom. We seek fame and money and power, and a lot of people will stop at nothing to get it. Some people just don't have any motivation. Some people are just born violent with that drive to kill their fellow man. People like to think we're above that, and somehow human consciousness prevents us from having those feelings, but if anything, I think it drives us to kill each other more than any of the other animals in the animal kingdom. But there's no fixing it. It's going to be going throughout history. I think people just need to realize that, because the only thing to blame is human nature, and the only thing anyone can do is basically just try to affect all humans in a good way and make it so nobody wants to kill you. And I don't think the United States is doing a very good job of that. I think our foreign policy is horrible, and especially after 9/11, we're really just asking for another terrorist attack now. I think, if anything, things have gotten worse, and we've ended up pissing off a lot more people and made ourselves a bigger target. I hope I'm wrong on that. Anyway, that's the game. As you can see, a ton of kills, but also a whole lot of deaths. But had a lot of fun doing it. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. As always, every interaction with the video helps. So, I guess I'll see you around. Later.